Hi everyone, I'm here in Dubai. I've got a few things to do while I'm over here. I've got a fair bit of filming to do. However, one of the things I did want to do and I'm doing today is having a ride on Dubai's roads. So I'm going to see what it's like. I've done this before in different cities and it's time to do it here in Dubai. Now I've read a little bit about the local laws. You're not allowed to or ride on main roads. You have to wear a helmet, you have to wear elbow and knee pads, and there are certain little bits of cycling infrastructure, but we're going to be looking at that a little bit later. So first of all, I'm going to get going. You're not allowed to ride on pathways with people, so that's pretty confirmed, but I don't know how I'm going to recognise whether they're a shared path or whether it's just a pedestrian path. So if in doubt, I'm going to be doing what I'm doing now, which is walking the bike. I'm here in Dera. I'm staying at Al Bandar Ratana Hotel. Let's see what goes on here. Is he going to let me across? No. Let's see whether the next person does. No. Okay. They generally do with pedestrians, so they must hate cyclists just as much as a lot of people in the UK. So I'm here at Al Bandar Ratana in Dera, and what I'm going to try and do is actually cycle to the Dubai frame, which is probably about 7 kilometers away. Now, first thing, have a little look at this bridge. They've got a nice cycle area, or an area where you can put your wheels in. That's fine. And we've got the same here also. So, do they think about the cyclists here? From the first impressions, they probably do. I do know that there has been a big push from Dubai to get people more actively cycling. There's a massive amount of cycleways out in the desert that people can go off and cycle 200 kilometers if they want to. But for me, the real cycling, and to get people away from these cars, is the fact that I'm trying to explore today, which is how easy is it going to be for people who maybe live in the area to commute to work. And with how relatively new Dubai is, I thought that this was an ideal opportunity for me to explore it. God, it's going to be tough going today with the heat and the humidity. I'm not going to be picking up any kind of pace. Okay, so we'll get down off this bridge and then we'll crack on. I've checked the bike out. No electrical assistance for me today. It's just me and me legs. So there's a sign up here that says there's fines for jaywalking, and there's a footbridge. I'm not allowed to cycle on this main road, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to head off down to this side and see whether we can find our way across the river. I've got to go across a river to then be able to get to where I want to go. So I'm even going to walk around this roundabout. Now, it is the early part of November that I'm over here. This video's probably going to be going out probably early part to mid-December, but it's still quite warm. It's been 32, 33 degrees over the past couple of days, and it's not going to be the easiest task. So this road here, I'm on the wrong side of the road, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to head down to this crossing and then take from there. Have you ever cycled in different countries? I've done a little bit over the years. I went to New York. It was probably at the start of this year. I think it was February time, and I cycled in New York, and that was actually pretty good. The roads here, this side of the main road, don't look that busy. So we should have an easy time of it. I don't think there's any dedicated cycle areas here though, is there? So what I'm going to do, literally going to get us going. I'm not using any sat nav for now. I'm just going to find my way. The bike that they're giving me isn't ideal either. It's a little small, the seat's as high as it can go, but it's what I've got. So if I look a little bit cramped up, I am. So roundabout, we give way to the left. No one coming. There's another little thing as well that keys and customs. I'm not sure whether I want to go down that way. I think I actually need to go on this area. I'm going to go on this paving. Now if I get pulled and fined by the police, so be it. The pathway does look really wide, and from when I've travelled into Dubai from where I'm staying, I do know that this pathway does seem to head across the bridge, and I have seen a couple of people use it. Not many, but I've seen a couple of people use it. So I'm just being mindful of obviously pedestrians coming the other way, and the fact that I'm in a foreign country and they don't know the rules. But anyway, Dubai is making a big push, like I said, to get people on bikes a little bit more. But it does actually surprise me, unless I'm totally fine riding on here, and this is what they're designed for. The pathways do look nice, big, wide, but it would surprise me if there's not infrastructure thought of on building most of these. The real changes really have probably come from the last 20 years, and if they're only thinking about it now, they've probably missed an opportunity. So where do I go here? Al Maktoum Bridge. Got to be mindful of the time as well. I've hired this bike for a couple of hours. One thing I would like to, oh, the seat's moving a bit. Couple of the cyclists, one's walking, that because he's just catching up with his mate. I'm going to ask this fella, excuse me, am I okay to ride up there? Yeah, okay, thank you. I think he understood. So yeah, my seat's fallen back. The seat isn't as tight as it could be, so I'm resting on the front part of the seat, so it's not going to be the most comfortable ride. Okay, so I did a little bit of research on cycle routes and cycle areas, and there's an estate here to my right hand side that seems to be full of cycle areas, but it's interesting, it's only in like a little square. So if you were thinking of putting your car away and taking a bike, would that be possible? I'm not actually sure. Now, this is about as far as I've been able to plan. So total discovery, as normal with me, you know what I'm like by now. We'll just wing it. I think this side's got to be better. Little point of interest as well, it's the same as my away bike, the brakes are the opposite way round. So the right hand side is the back and the left is the front. I do have disc brakes, but they're not the best. So we can see the city out in front of us. But obviously you can't take that main road, so find out where I go. I am going to try and turn right and go into the estate where I've found that there could be some cycling infrastructure. I'm not sure where it is. Like I said, I haven't even got my phone open on Google Maps. I might do that in a minute. Okay, so would I be allowed to ride on this type of road? Is it still a main road? I think it would be classed as that, to be honest. I'm not going to risk going down near the road, so I'm going over here. No idea. So at the moment, all I've really done is just cycled on paving. There seems to be no obvious way around. This looks like a cycle track that's been made by the locals, so we'll have a go at this one. But there doesn't seem to be much. Obviously, I'm only scratching the surface. I'm only doing the absolute very basics, but didn't fancy going up ahead. I might get the Google Maps working and see what goes on. I've only got my own natural TomTom to work off. Sort of know the direction I want to be heading. I'm going to have a little look at this sign up here. What does this say? Is there anything on there? No bikes? Yeah, no bikes. Is that on the park? Or is this from now? Or is that on the roads? So, that's what I mean. It's super difficult. Super difficult. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay here a second and get my phone working. Now, what would be the best, do you think? I think Google Maps is the one to go for, possibly. And I'm even going to put in where I would like to go. Dubai. Frame. Search. Let's see what my internet's like over here. If it's slow, does that potentially cause another problem? I think it possibly does, doesn't it? Now I think I need to be heading that way, and I might have a go on the roads here. Yeah, I think I'm going to, because my internet isn't the strongest, so I'm just going to wait for the gap in the traffic, and I'm going to go for it. Oh well, this is how it ends. It ends. My seat's getting further and further back in its position. Not sure whether I'm allowed on here. Anyway, if I get beeped or if I get oh gee whiz, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Is that an opportunity though? Bloody well is. I'm having that. Got to be careful of swearing over here as well. I don't know where I'm going. No idea. Am I allowed to go down here? Am I allowed to be cycling? I think this is a main road though, isn't it? It's going on to one of the main roads into the city. I am just going to head across. Don't know whether I should be cycling or not. Anyway, There was just a sign here. I shouldn't have been cycling that little part, but there's a shared cycle path now. I just saw it on the back of that sign. I am just going to stop and try and adjust my seat because we're turning into a speedboat. There we go. Shouldn't be such a fat ass. Okay. So yeah, I'm happy that this is a shared path. Still don't know where the frame is. So, what do I do here then? How do I deal with this if this is a shared path? And it says, oh, hang on, no cyclists up that way, but cyclists down here. Okay. Super. Still got no internet. Where do we go now then? I think I need to go left. No idea. So are these the roads that they class as for cycling? Possibly made a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, we've got a cycle area here. Well, it's saying, I think, from the markings on the floor, cyclists can use it. It's not solely cyclists when it's like that in the UK. It's just, this is an area that cyclists can use. So we'll try it, give it a go. So, what happens now? No idea. I'm going to go straight. It's still saying I can use this area, but it does say it's blocked off a little bit further up. Is that a sign up there on the right hand side? Possibly. Is this guy seeing me and stopping? Yes, he is. Thank you. Police came past me. Not been stopped yet. Right, okay. So we can't go here. So is it time to walk across? Potentially. The frame's just out in front of me, so I am heading in the correct direction. Where can I cross the road? Up here. So yeah, the frame is over there. You can probably see it in the far distance with a 360 camera, but it's not actually that far away. Remember the distortion of these things. So I think I could even possibly cycle on this area. These cycle little routes. They are, aren't they? Okay. I think I'm going to cross over and get back on the bike again. So is it the fact that I wasn't on the bike before that caused the issue? The other thing, I should really be getting on the opposite side. There's that seat gone again. Oh, debacles. Okay. So I have to emerge. Okay. No one at the crossing, apart from a BMW parking on it. So the frame's off to my left-hand side. Make sure I've been seen everywhere. Same rules apply. Making sure I'm doing my observation for the people. Is this a road that I can... I'm just going to stop in here, I think. That looks as though it's the main road again. So let's fix Let's fix me seat. So, cycling infrastructure. Not brilliant. Is this a little cycle area just round the corner that I can use, or is this a car area? We will find out in a sec. There's a cycle area there. So how do the cycles, just out of that, come from this cycle area? Have you got to go round there and then cross and do a U-turn to get to that? Possibly. Is this cycle area a two-way cycle area? Or is it one way? Is there one across the other side? There is. I'm not sure. Do I have to cross the whole way across that road to then go and cycle down there? Looks as though there's people just riding willy-nilly there. I think I'm just going to go for it. Not yet. They weren't beeping at me, but I'm just going to walk past these. So, this is a pretty big, busy main road, but there do seem to be people cycling on this a little touch further up. So I think best course of action would be to walk down to this crossing area, cross over, and then get on the cycle area across the other side. I don't think I've got that far until I get to the frame. Never been down here before in my life, so no idea. No idea where I'm going. Yeah, I definitely think that's the best option. Even though what I'll probably have to do a bit further up is obviously get back across the road, because I think the frame is just over here to my left hand side. Is there a cycle area the other side? I'm not sure. Do I just go back down here? I think I've just changed my mind. I think I'm going to go for it down this road. Seems pointless me crossing over to then just come back and a mow. So, just going to go for it on these roads. So it's not the clearest. It's not the most obvious. Says this road here looks as though it's for cars, bikes and scooters. I suppose you'd know the signage a little bit more if you're obviously a local here, but don't think it's the clearest. And you've got to keep on dismounting to then walk across the road to go in the opposite direction. It sort of defeats the object for me. Does this road just bend? He's on the pavement there. Should I do the same? No, looks as though we're heading to the wrong way now, isn't it? Is that a little way through here? Let's have a look. Looks as though it's a little alleyway. Now I'm going for it. My seat's moved again. I'm going to let this fella come through first. See if we can get some signal on my phone. We've got a pavement and another pathway. Hopefully there's a cycling area just the other side of it. I have to dismount to get up here. Back on that same road as before. Okay, that was pointless. Anyway, crack on. phone internet's pretty useless. How does that affect what we do? And riding and driving in different countries? Well, it does. Now, I'm yet to drive over here in Dubai. I am going to. Please check out the other main channel for that. But we'll see what's what. Where do we go? No idea. Absolutely zero. I do think if I head straight down this road, I'll probably be a little bit better. It looks as though there's a little bit of even road just to the side where the shops are. But then, don't know. I'm going to just go down here a little bit, I think. Saying that, that's just going to take me back to the road I was on before, isn't it? Crossover time. Okay. Tell you one thing, I haven't seen many supercars while I've been over here. It's not as common as I expected. I expected them to be 2 a penny, but there's not been that many. Seen more Teslas than supercars, to be honest, which does surprise me. But Dubai have been making a push towards tourism, and that's the reasoning behind. In fact, I am just going to go down on this road section, I think. I've had enough of this mountain. Does that go this way though? Maybe. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they are making a big push towards tourism, not being reliant on. I wouldn't say oil, because it's been a number of years since Dubai has been reliant on oil. But I do have a little question about where the money came from to originally build all this infrastructure. So there's the frame in front of me. Now, how do I get across this section of road? There's a footbridge there. How do we get to that? Just going to move in for this car. And I'm going to go over here and walk this part. Yeah, there's a little question for me how originally Dubai's money was provided. Excuse me, fixing my seat again. Yeah, there's a question behind how originally Dubai got its money to then not be relying on oil money and trying to promote tourism a little bit more. However, it's good to see that they're putting certain things of cycling infrastructure in place. But going back to what I was talking about earlier on about the 200 kilometers worth of cycle areas that there are. How am I going to get my bike up here? This is a carry job. Okay. Good job it's not a big lecky bike. So yeah, they are encouraging people to come over here cycling and going on the 200 kilometers worth of cycle areas. But for me, how are they getting here? Well, getting here on the plane. How are they getting to those cycle areas? Well, I think I've sort of proved that there's the frame at the back of these shops. Should have been riding across here. You know what? There's a guy coming. No, I'm not. So yeah, if you are coming over here to cycle on the amazing cycle infrastructure out in the desert, you've flown here, you're staying in a hotel, you probably have to drive to those areas. So really, it's not the way that I think cycling should be promoted. I know many people think, Ashley, you're a driving instructor, you're reliant on people driving. I'm absolutely not. There's always going to be a need for people to drive for purpose. But if we can get people away from just taking unnecessary journeys by car and using the bike, it's honestly probably, you're okay. It will probably cut down on emissions massively. But it's just a little bit of irony for me that they put so much money and effort into 200 kilometres worth of cycle areas which no cars are allowed. It's just for cyclists, air conditioned rest areas, water breaks. Let's sort this guy out. It's quite ironic that then, as we've seen today, the infrastructure for cyclists themselves to commute to get from A to B is less than adequate. And I think already we've proved that. I'm going to try and rejoin the road and get cycling. I do know the frame is in a park area which can be cycled round. So hopefully, there's my seat gone again. There's always something with my bike rides, isn't there? Anyway, put up with it, just get on, crack on. There's the frame. Is it just at the back? There it is to the right. I'm going to continue ahead, I think. Now I've got a major road out in front of me, don't know which one it is. So the restriction to not be able to ride on the main roads, the lack of dedicated cycling infrastructure does have a bearing on cycling in Dubai. How hard this is policed, I don't know. I really have no clue. So here's the frame out in front of me. Now I've got to find a way to get across this major road. This will be fun. Will it allow me to cycle, or will I have to get off and walk? I think this is probably a nice little conclusion. I spy another bridge. Looks as though I'm going to have to walk across. But anyway, that is safety to a certain extent. I do think some cyclists are just stuck with their progress. What goes on here? I am allowed to cycle here, but you know what? I'm going to walk it and try and find an area to cross. It might even cross here, you know, because like this fella on the scooter's doing. Because if I don't, let's fix my seat again. I might be stuck all the way back down there. So let's find an appropriate time to cross. No inconvenience to people. Rules like that are the same worldwide. It is what it is. Even these vehicles joining from my immediate left. Might be a long wait. Anyway, I'm in no rush. Could do with a little break anyway. So the frame you can take access to that. You can buy tickets and walk across. I haven't done it yet. Apparently there's a glass-like floor that I think you can walk across the top. Excuse the lorry going past. Yeah, there's like a glass-like floor that you can walk over. It's a bit freak you out because you just see nothing beneath you. I've done that once before while I was in New York on one of the skyscrapers. It was pretty terrifying, but I do have plans to go up on a frame. I'm going to have to force the issue a little bit here, I think. Because me and this guy are going to be waiting here for a long time. I've only got 2 hours with the bike. Is there a gap after this school bus? No. There's a gap coming up after this. This guy's seeing it as well. I am going to go for this one. Just put some pedal on. Okay, that's a run across there. So, it would have been a little trek up that way as well before I was able to do it. Anyway, off we go again. So yeah, it looks as though, there's my seat gone again. It looks as though I'm going to have to walk around this, but I do want to get underneath the frame. That was my plan. Do you think me winging it like this, without doing much prep, is the best way of discovery? I personally do. View's a little close. Okay. Was that because I was on the wrong side of the road, instinctively going to the left? Possibly. But I knew I was heading off to this side. That shows you. You've got to be on your guard all the time. Got to be ready for it. And that's why in the UK you need to keep 1.5 meters from cyclists, because cyclists make mistakes, just like I did. So there was a sign on the other bridge not to ride across. I'm suspecting that will be the case here as well, so I am just going to walk. We are going to get a decent view of the frame as we get up on top. But yeah, going back to what I was saying before I nearly crashed into the car, do you think it's the best way for me to discover certain new cities and cycling infrastructure, for me to just get a bike and just go for it? I personally think it is, because it really underlines the simplicity, the safety and the full infrastructure of cycling. And for me, Dubai isn't that clear. I haven't necessarily picked a route where all the cycling infrastructure is strong, but like I said, I did a touch of research just to find out sort of where it was, and it honestly wasn't that apparent all over the city. There's a big stretch as we just head up here. We've got the Burj Khalifa directly in front of us in the distance. If I was head to the right hand side now towards the coast, there's a big section of cycling infrastructure there, and it looks as though there's a big piece here. So it may just be that I'm obviously new to the area and don't know where I can go, but it just proves there's always a need for good road awareness and good planning and good ability on the road, because when cycling infrastructure ends, you're struggling. So that's me done. I'm going to go and have a walk round. I'm going to have a drink of water, and I've got to get heading back. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep safe. I'll try to. I'll see you soon.